Hey everyone, this is Bastian with a quick demo of repeating tasks in space, new in version 1.2. Let me start by creating a little test task. You can get to the repetitions by right-clicking a task and doing Edit Repetition, or you can open up the task, go to its menu, and then select Edit Repetition. Same result. There are two ways in which tasks can repeat in space. They can either repeat when completed, or on a regular schedule. When completed means that space at any time maintains just one instance of a repeating task. And when you check that off, a new instance is created at the offset that you specify. So this is kind of a rolling window. Regular repetition means that a number of instances of a task will be created into the future, and it will repeat on a fixed cadence. So weekly, daily, monthly, every 2 weeks, weekly on every Thursday and Sunday, what have you. There's lots of options here that you can explore. I'll show you this when completed recurrence first. This is a task that is scheduled on the week. And so because it is scheduled on a week, it doesn't make sense for it to repeat at a cadence that is more granular than 1 week. So if I select day here, I'll get an error. That's not possible. I can definitely create daily repeating tasks, but then I need to schedule the task that I create the repetition from on a day as well. I'll show you in a second. For now, I'll select 1 week. I'll create the repetition. There's some new options here that allow me to delete the repetition again. I can go into the menu to see, for instance, what the template looks like. Now, when I create a repetition, Space looks at the task that I create the repetition from and uses that as the template for new tasks. So you can see what that looks like. I can also go in here and say, I'll just add some more data here. I'll make it important. And now if I go in and edit repetition and update from current task, you'll see that now this info has changed, and it will be used when a new instance of this task is created. So if I now check this task off, it'll move to today because I checked it off today. And if I move to next week, you'll see that there's a new instance of this task here waiting for me to check off. Let's create another one. Test 5. I just told you that having a weekly task repeat on a day doesn't make sense. But you can, of course, move that task to a day and then have it repeat daily. So let's do that. Let's create a daily repeating task. And I'll also would like to add it to my calendar. Now there's two options you can do here. You can either schedule it at an exact time. So I'll schedule it at 4 p.m. And if you schedule it at an exact time, it'll just put the event there no matter what. So let's see what this does. As you can see, events are created into the future. I have a conflict here, but that's ignored. The event is just added. And you can see that 5 events are created into the future. That's the default. You can change that to 10 if you like. So now there's 10. And that number will be maintained into the future. So if one is checked off, a new one is created, etc. But there's actually something else I want to show you that is really interesting. So if I recreate that repetition, daily repetition, and if I do find opening rather than exact time, and I say 4 p.m., what Space is now going to do is it's going to try and schedule that event at the most suitable time, taking into account my working hours and any other events that I have. So if I open up settings, you can configure your working hours here in the calendar settings. And when scheduling these recurring events, it will take into account your working hours, but also any other events that you have. So I have this block here, which means that, that the time that I requested wasn't possible, but just before it was possible, so it found that slot for me. In addition to those standard presets for daily working days, weekend days, etc. There's also custom, where you can select a custom recurrence on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly cadence. There are a lot of options here that you can configure. Not everything that is in calendars is present here. If there's something that you miss, let me know and I will add it. There's one other thing I need to show you. Once you have these repeating tasks set up, you might want to take a look at them, review them, maybe delete them, edit them, etc., without having to find the exact instances, because they might be really far into the future, right? So if you open up the Go-To menu, you can find at the bottom repeating tasks. And this lists all of the repeating tasks that you have at any time. And you can open them up and delete them. You know, if these are stale, you don't need them anymore. You can also go ahead and see, you know, their next instances, and you can click on them to jump there immediately. A little tool to just make maintaining those repeating tasks a little bit easier. And then one last thing, obviously, all of this also works on mobile. So you can also create a task here and then go into edit repetition, and you have all of the same options that you have on the desktop. Hope this helps. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.